All right. Thank you all. You are amazing. So on time. This is awesome. Thank you. Thank you. We have 3 bills on our agenda for today. We'll start with HB 70, which is a drastically reduced bill. Most of this bill has been dealt with through SHA. I want to publicly thank them for working with the sponsor and committing to doing a lot of what's in this bill. We have only one piece left, and we do not have the amendment. So I'm going to see if I can pull up, which I can't. Shoot. I was going to show you my email. Hang on one sec. Let me see if I can actually do
There should be a reprint on there.
Right. But the paragraph has been changed. So here we go. Let's see if I can do this. And my apologies to Patrick, who hasn't even seen this. Okay. So now, can you all see? What we're looking at is the paragraph down at the bottom that is up for us to approve. This would be the bill. If a new approved pedestrian and bicycle safety construction or improvement project is projected to take more than 12 months to complete, the department shall implement all possible incremental near-term safety improvements as soon as practicable while maintaining each project's priority ranking. If you all remember the discussion yesterday, sorry, Gretchen, can you reach out to Delegate Ziegler? She's having a hard time getting in.
Yes.
This is, for example, an intersection where they're planning on putting up lights, but that's not going to take, it's going to take more than a year. SHA can come in and put up stop signs or some other safety measures immediately and not just wait, which has been their practice. Does anybody have any questions? And Patrick, I am sorry, please don't be mad at me.
I'm not mad at you.
Thank you. Yes, Chair Healy.
I just wonder, it's just a question for the sake of having a question, that there's a lot of wiggle room here, you know, as soon as practicable and incremental, all that stuff. I wonder if it's really going to make any difference at all. That's all.
That's a very good question. Thank you for that. Delegate Charkoudian, who has done so much work in this space, really feels like it will. And SHA is comfortable with this language. The sponsor is comfortable with the language.
Okay.
But thank you for the question. Delegate Jacobs.
Through all this reworking, I know in the original bill there was a fiscal note that was like $100,000 the first year and $400,000 after that. How did all that change in these changes in the bill?
We don't have an updated fiscal note. Unfortunately, we're not going to get one, but the entire bill is gone but for this paragraph. So I don't think there is a fiscal note.
Thank you.
Delegate Morgan?
Yes, Delegate Ziegler's trying to get in, but she's not been able to connect. So could we pay a look? Let's look and see if she's going to try to get in, please.
Yeah.
Hi, it's Gretchen. Okay, there she is.
There we go.
There we go. Let me
Thank you.
let her in. Okay.
I'm back. You go see.
There we go. Hello, Delegate Ziegler.
Hi there. I don't know what happened. That was weird. Thank you, Todd.
Apologies for the challenge. We are talking about HB 70, and if you see on your screen this second paragraph, if a new approved pedestrian and bicycle safety construction improvement project,
Right.
that's the entirety of HB 70 right now.
Okay.
So any other questions? Yes, Delegate Morgan.
Thank you. So I'm trying to follow up on Delegate Jacobs about a fiscal note. The question I have on a fiscal note would be, since this would all be charged at the time of the construction project because of the delays that the highway people are experiencing. So I don't know how they could come up with a fiscal note because it's not going to be on a project per project basis. I just don't like the fact that anything gets taken out of the Transportation Trust Fund.
Can I say something real quick here?
Please, Patrick.
According to the fiscal note, all of it, the 100,000 the first year, the 400 the next year, is due to the reports that have been stricken from the bill.
So does that mean that it goes away? Probably.
Yeah.
So it's a neutral.
Yes.
But thank you. Okay.
Any further questions? Okay. Is there a motion on the amendment, which now becomes the bill?
Move favorable.
Second.
Thank you. On the amendments, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, on the bill as amended.
Move the bill.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Excellent. Thank you all. Excuse me, very, very much. Next, we will move to HB.
Can you send me that language?
Yes, Patrick, I will get you that language. Were you not CC'd on that? You were,
might
but
have been.
I'll shoot it to you again. I promise.
Okay.
Just so you have it. Okay. On HB 835, Delegate Jacobs, what do you got for us?
I have left a message at the town manager's office in Charlestown and have not received a call back.
Okay.
But I do know, I will say this, I know they meet all the criteria, but I'm not sure about the state road part of it.
Can-
So I would say that it's up to the committee based on, where it is on the state highway portion of it, whether it be something approved by a state highway or contingent on state highway or whatever you want to do.
Okay, thank you.
I think I'll get a call back today, but I haven't had one as of right now.
Okay, thank you. Patrick?
I have one question for Delegate Jacobs and one thing to point out. Is this a municipality?
Charlestown?
Yeah,
I think it is.
okay. I can look it up, but I just.
I mean, I can look it up, but I'm pretty sure Charlestown, it's an old town. It's probably 300 years old. There's been presidents. It's some big famous place up there. One of the presidents used to come all the time and all that stuff. But it's an old town. It's right on the water. But I'm just not positive whether what they're planning involves crossing a state highway. That's what I don't know.
Okay. And one other thing I wanted to point out to the subcommittee, it's not uncommon to have a provision like this. The town commissioners of the town of Charlestown may designate by resolution the highways on which a person may operate a golf cart. But usually we limit them to county or municipal highways. And this one just says the highways.
What,
Delegate Stewart and then Delegate Healy.
So I actually think I can answer this question about whether they need to cross a state highway by just pulling up Google Maps. So if any of you also love and are fluent in Google Maps, you can follow along with me. But if you pull up Charlestown, I have it here. I don't know if you can see mine, but you can just trust me that I have it. And there's actually no way that you can cross the only relevant state highway in the town. That state highway is Highway 7, which is also locally referred to as West Old Philadelphia Road. There's actually no crossing in the town of Charleston whatsoever. There is a way that you can merge on to Highway 7. My only question is, if you pull it up, there is a road. It doesn't look like a state highway to me. But there is a road that's number 267. And so so Highway 7, you see Highway 7 right there.
Yep.
That is not crossed by any of these roads. So if you zoom in, you'll see there's no crossing whatsoever on Highway 7. There is a merge over there on the left-hand side, you see, where 267 meets Highway 7, but there's no crossing in the entire town with Highway 7. So if that is the only state highway we're talking about, then there would be no crossing needed. However, you will also see that 267 is on there multiple ways. It looks like 267 sort of crisscrosses through the town. I do not know if 267 is a state right. I know that Highway 7 is. I don't know about 267. I don't know what that refers to. Clearly, if that is a state highway, that it doesn't really function like what we think of as a state highway, because as you see, it meanders through the town like a local road. But if it does count as a state highway for our purposes, clearly it's crossed many different times. If it's not a state highway, then there are no crossings with a state highway.
It is a state highway. Any road with a number is a state highway.
Okay. So yeah, so then I think the answer is yes, it will cross it. However, I just don't know whether we should be super concerned with crossing it, because as you guys see here, the crossings appear to be fairly urban and sort of in the basic grid of the tiny little town. So that's my 2 cents from Google Maps.
Thank you, Delegate Stewart. Yes, Mitch.
Hey, I just wanted to let you all know we have this really cool map online. It's called Know Your Roads, MDOT Know Your Roads app, and it's basically like a GIS overlay of the all the like state facilities, and you can see on the map which roads like the locals own versus which roads the SHA owns, and it's real helpful in situations like this where there's, it doesn't look like a state highway, but it might be a state highway from something that happened 100 years ago. So I'll share the link with the subcommittee.
Excellent. Thank you. So I'll be honest, I'm lost, Patrick. Where are we?
Is Mitch familiar with this road? I think we really need some state highway input here, plus the town.
Yeah.
I don't think we know what we're dealing with.
I'm looking it up right now to try and figure out if we own the road. I'm pretty sure we do, but give me 2 minutes to do some research and I'll.
Hey, Mitch, is it incorrect to say that any numbered road is a state road?
So 99.9 times out of 100, no, or I'm sorry, yes. There is some certain cases where like a state highway turns into a local road and like one little tiny portion of the road is owned by the local government, but it may still be a numbered route.
Okay.
There's not many of them, but it's almost a perfect system.
Okay, so it sounds like we need a little bit more time to find some answers.
Yeah, and we need to find out if that is actually a municipality or not. And then we could do the language, whether it's the county or the town that passes the resolution to enact the rules that we adopt, that we tell them to.
Jay, can you?
Yeah, I think we need state highway to weigh in, and I'll get something from the town, but that's sort of our criteria, and we just got to make sure of it.
Yep, absolutely. Delegate Stewart?
I think I can answer one of the questions, which is it does appear to be an incorporated municipality. Its government is led by actually someone with the title of president of the town. His name is Joseph Letts, apparently. And the town has actually been incorporated as, I believe, an incorporated municipality since 1742, to Jay's point about the age. So I think it is an incorporated municipality. I think a state road does go through it. And I think ultimately we're going to have to make a policy decision about whether we're comfortable with crossings of the state highway when the state highway, as in this case, appears to be functioning like a local road.
Well, and for the record, the state highway doesn't preclude passing the bill. We just want to know what the nature of it is. And then state highway administration will, want to have the authority say yes or no, you can cross here.
And we got to make sure the speed is the issue on it. I think 30 mile an hour, right?
Speed, stop signs, all sorts of things.
Right.
Yeah, because we did allow in Chrisfield for them to cross the
Correct.
state highway, so.
Correct.
I think the town's all right, but I don't want to say for sure.
I
Okay.
can confirm. I can confirm. I'm sorry. Am I good?
Yes, go ahead, Mitch. Thank you.
Yeah, so I can confirm. So Bladen Street is Maryland 267 is a state highway, and it is a municipality. That was actually on the Know Your Roads app too. So
Okay.
And if Mitch could look into that and see if State Highway might be able to provide some input on the road and as to whether they would, approve of this bill if we put in some language saying that, who knows, the town might not even want to cross the road. We got to find that out too. And if they do want to cross the road, we'll see if that's okay with State Highway. And of course, they would have final say as to whether that could happen or not.
So Patrick, it also looks like the borders of the municipality itself go across Maryland 7, which is
Oh, really?
So based on the map that I'm looking at, it looks like it doesn't go quite to Maryland 40, but it goes on the other side of Maryland 7, which Maryland 7 would be kind of not really like I don't really think it's like a main street. I think it's more of a arterial road with maybe like a little bit of a higher speed limit. I think 267 would probably be fine. I'm just looking at it on Google Maps too. It looks like a quaint little town.
Yeah, Mitch, if you can reach back to Patrick, because it sounds like we can't do anything on this bill right now.
Sounds good. We'll do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mitch.
Okay, last but not least, friends, we are going to go back to HB 208, exhibition driving. We had talked about this before, and let me just update you on where things are. I am talking to JPR to try to get their sense of what's going on. And also talking to the administration and talking to some other folks. But I think it would be worthwhile for us to look at this and figure out what we want to do with this definition, and just sort of move forward on this if folks are okay with that. So we had talked about taking out number 2. Is that still the will of the committee?
Oh, you talking about smoking tires and all that? No, not that too.
No, not that 2. We're talking about.
It is the will of this committee member to do so.
I think that I concur with Delegate Guyton.
Thank
Oh, the
you.
hood of the roof, right?
Delegate Stewart.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was just going to say, I would prefer to take it out. At the same time, I think my higher priority is to do whatever I can to make sure this bill passes both chambers. So if it's going to complicate things in any way to take it out, I can live with the prospect of a good old boy somewhere in the state getting pulled over for exhibition driving for riding on the hood of a vehicle going 5 miles per hour. I'm willing to live with that. I don't love it, but I'm willing to live with that. I think it's more important for the bill to pass in whatever posture we need to pass in to maximize its chances in the Senate.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. I would like to throw one more thing out for discussion when it comes to this, and that is what the committee thinks about requiring in subsection 1, K1, then we have Roman 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I am slightly concerned about sub 1 by itself, Roman numeral 1 by itself, excessive abrupt acceleration or deceleration of the motor vehicle. Now, we all know what that means in the context of these contests and all of that, but the hypothetical I was thinking about is, there's a crowd next to me, gathered in a parking lot, and I'm in a bad mood or whatever, and I want to get away from them, and I gun it. That's excessive, abrupt acceleration. Not that I would ever do this because it's not safe. So on the record, not doing it, but for hypothetical sake, that by definition, I wonder if it would fall under. So would it be more prudent to define it as at least 2 of these? Thoughts? Putting aside Ocean City and their concerns, which we will deal with because they're valid concerns and I understand them. I have not talked to them about this, but just for discussion purposes for our subcommittee. Delegate Guyton.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think that is an excellent idea because I was going through the list just as you said that, wondering, thinking that we could have the same argument about any one of these descriptive pieces. Your gears could grind for whatever reason. You could skid because the road is wet. I mean, one of them is not enough, I think, to justify an actual criminal activity. So I think that sounds like an elegant solution to me.
Thank you.
Well, should I remind you that 2 is what got the bill vetoed last year?
Really?
Yeah.
Which 2? Oh, having 2 choices?
At least 2?
Yeah.
At least 2.
It was termed a defense attorney's dream.
How?
That's helpful. I had forgotten that Delegate Davis.
I'm not so upset about it being a defense attorney's dream. And I agree with Delegate Guyton, and I also think it solves the problem with number 2.
Yeah, that's right. It does.
Yeah. Okay.
Here, question.
Yes, Delegate Healy.
It would that be add number 2 to the list of this as a Roman numeral 7 instead of number 2, and just have them all and have 2 of that whole list?
Interesting. Delegate Guyton, do you have something else to say, or is your hand?
I apologize. I'm terrible at taking down my hand,
That's
but that
okay.
was a great idea, Delegate Healy.
It's fine. Yes, Delegate Stewart.
I just want to say I agree. I like the idea of putting number 2 turning into number 7 and saying at least 2 of these. I think we all know what we're talking about here. It's kind of like a Potter Stewart, like it when you see it sort of situation, right? But I think it is definitely true that if you take basically any one of these in isolation near a crowd or a gathering, I mean, any one of them in isolation is just not what anyone would consider exhibition driving. It's just the reality. And as much as I want to crack down on these folks, I just think we should be a little bit careful. I know that it was vetoed last year, but we do have a new governor.
Thank you. Delegate Jacobs?
So I think you talked about this yesterday about riding on the hood or roof in parades, but I had some distractions going on. I just want to make sure I'm clear on that.
Yeah, we weren't comfortable with exhibition driving being defined as the transportation of a passenger on the hood or roof of a motor vehicle of and in itself. There was a concern about, parades.
Right. Because when you look at number 1, it says in close proximity in the crowd or gathering that intentionally results in, and you get down to 2, transportation of a passenger on a hood or roof. Well, a lot of parades, Miss whatever is up on could be sitting on the T-top of a Corvette, waving, with the political hand.
That's the Queen's wave.
Yes, the Queen's wave. Well, they make fun of us for that too, but I'm just want to make sure that that's not an issue in what we're defining here.
That you hit the nail on the head. That was exactly the concern that we discussed.
Right.
So the discussion right now is moving that section, number 2, to be Roman 7, and then say that it must be at least 2. So we're not going to vote on this right now. But are folks comfortable if we were to do that? Would folks be comfortable with passing it as such? I'm seeing nods. Okay. Okay, I will keep.
I don't like that riding on the hood or on top. You know, I want to make sure that that's not a problem in parades because you're riding right in a crowd of people.
Right. So it would be in connection with one of these other things. So sort of the two options, we're taking that out entirely or adding that to the other list and saying it has to be at least 2.
Well, I'd like to see it say unless you're participating in a parade or something. You know, I think it should be defined.
Okay.
That's my 2 cents. Because I've been in a lot of parades and there's always somebody sitting up there on the top,
Right, but they're not excessively accelerating or squealing tires, all of these other things. It would have to be in connection with these
I
other.
understand, but I thought Patrick said that picking 2 was a Stewart Vaughn priority. Vaughn Stewart, I mean.
Okay, thank you, everyone. I will keep you posted on what we're doing here. Oh, yes, Delia Davis. No? Okay. We may.
I just wanted,
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I just wanted to add that if you're in a parade and you're doing one of those other things, it should be exhibition driving.
Good point. Good point. Okay, we will likely meet tomorrow. There are 2 bills that we may, if we can get them ready, we will take up, and this one is still sort of hanging out there. So thank you all. Appreciate you and see you on the floor at 3:30. Bye.